In your quest for success, you're going to encounter some relentless and vicious enemies along the way. And I'm going to remove myself from this iconographic so you can read the whole thing as we talk about those enemies and how to confront them. Let me list them for you. Instant gratification, gluttony, drunkenness, envy, greed, sexual folly, and the refusal to receive instruction. Now, it's been my spiritual practice and discipline at times in my life to read a chapter of Proverbs each day. And when I initially wrote this piece and began to prepare this blog, it corresponded to the 23rd of the month, Proverbs 23. But today, as I was, and today on my calendar is May the 30th. Here's Proverbs 23 popping up in the Common Lectionary. I've also noticed that in groups, recovery groups, business groups, people doing this proverb of the day practice. Now, what happens when you hit Proverbs 31? Well, you will get to that 4 times a year with this practice, but on ordinary months, you do 30 and 31. You know what? That doesn't play out, does it? 30 days has September, April, June, and November. So there are some months where you don't have 31 days. So on those days, you double up. But whatever your discipline, and whenever you read the book of Proverbs, there is something in common about these enemies. That is that the allure of instant gratification and all of its manifestations are clear enemies of success. And I'm reading out of the message because it gets very clear today. But whatever translation you read out of, let it sink in. Look at these words. When you go out to dinner with an influential person, mind your manners. Don't gobble your food. Don't talk with your mouth full. Don't stuff yourself. Bridle your appetite. Sometimes people will attend business meals with the idea that it's all about the food and their own gratification. Well, that's not so. It's about meeting, and it's about the meeting, and it's about the person you're meeting with, that person of influence that you are trying to influence. Gorge yourself later. It's been said that J.C. Penney would take potential executives out to dinner and decide whether he was going to hire them or not. This was when he was interviewing an executive. Now, he, at least legend says this, he would decide whether or not to hire them, all other things considered, by whether or not they salted their food before tasting it. He didn't want impulsive associates. So that was a deal breaker. At least we're told that. Here's where it goes from there. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Restrain yourself. Riches disappear in the blink of an eye. Wealth sprouts wings and flies off into the wild of blue yonder. That's verses 4 through 6. And makes us think, doesn't it? Keep everything in perspective. Pace yourself. Don't become so addicted to your moment by moment immediate success that you lose the long term benefits of those things that endure the test of time. The writer goes on. Don't accept a meal from a tightwad. Don't expect anything. He'll be as stingy with you as he is with himself. He'll say, eat, drink, but he won't mean a word of it. His miserly serving will turn your stomach when you realize the meal's a sham, verses 7 through 8. Again, don't let your gluttony interfere with your judgment. Whoever said that there's no free lunch was being overly cynical. However, there really aren't many free lunches. People operate with some degree of self-interest. Honest people in business are open about this and seeking win-win scenarios. I operate on the principle that I want you to get something out of the transaction so we can all be happy when it's done. But keep in mind, gluttony and naivete are enemies of success. Here's the verse 9. Don't bother talking sense to fools. They'll only poke fun at your words. Have you ever done business with someone who just didn't get it? It's another enemy of success. Compulsion to teach that person by banging them over their head with truth. Well, just forget it. Move on to your own success. Don't let addiction to being proved right interfere with your success. Here's where it goes on. Don't stealthily move back the boundary lines or cheat orphans out of their property, for they have a powerful advocate who will go to bat for them. So, dishonesty based on greed and desire for momentary advantage that leads to cheating people is what's railed against here. And it is an enemy of your success. God will himself step forward to thwart the success of people who build it by cheating the poor. The hand of justice may not strike quickly, but it will eventually set things right. Goes on. Don't for a minute envy careless rebels. Soak yourself in the fear of God. That's where your future lies. Then you won't be left with an armload of nothing, verses 17 through 18. I don't want an armload of nothing, do you? Envy is, thank you, Peterson, for putting it into those words. Eugene Peterson, translator, paraphraser of the Message. Envy is a major enemy of success. It takes our attention away from what we need to be doing. It pollutes our attitudes and it poisons our relationships. Put it away. Put it away before it gets in your way in a big way. This includes all sorts of comparisons with other people. The genius of one form of marketing, that is relationship marketing, is that you actually succeed by cheering other people to succeed. Okay, we go on. Oh, listen, dear child, and become wise. Point your life in the right direction. Don't drink too much wine and get drunk. Don't eat too much food and get fat. Drunks and gluttons will end up on Skid Row in a stupor and dressed in rags. That's verses 19 through 21. So in contrast with wisdom is a success enemy we call substance abuse. Included in that category, that also includes all forms of abuse: alcohol, illegal drugs, excessive use of legal drugs, addictive sexual behaviors, which do also produce drugs in our endocrine system, and addiction to food, which is called gluttony and produces lethargy, and so many ailments, and you have a cluster of enemies to success. We could go on and on about ways they rob us of vitality, resources, time, motivation, energy, wisdom, discretion, and positivity. These were as much of a problem in Solomon's day as they are today for those who indulged in them. The problem is that there seems to be a growing trend toward these forms of self-indulgence and accompanied by media affirmation, and we have to do some things according to that affirmation that feel good, and that pleasure is our ultimate God. Well, not only is that not true spiritually, but in the practical realm, it is disastrous. How do we avoid that enemy? Moderation is the key to avoiding addiction in some behaviors. In others, it's absolute abstinence, which may be in order because of the power of certain substances to establish a quick and certain foothold in our lives. Addiction is a major enemy of success and a friend of poverty. Consider these symptoms: drowsiness, sleeping late, forgetfulness, inattention, irritability, uncontrolled spending, health problems, missing appointments, incarceration, inability to drive safely, broken relationships, legal entanglements of a civil nature, exposure to severe liability, loss of drive, preoccupation with satisfying monetary urges, laziness, and on and on and on and on. All of these are problematic in and of themselves, and together they decimate your capacity for success. Get some victory in these areas of your life quickly if you want to succeed. And here's a hint: a vital, growing, committed, and healthy relationship with God. And where I found it is in a relationship with Jesus Christ and a local community of people who are like-minded is a beginning context for all sorts of life liberation and personal growth. Here's another continuation of the Proverbs. Listen with respect to the father who raised you, and when your mother grows old, don't neglect her. Buy truth and don't sell it for love or money. Buy wisdom, buy education, buy insight. Parents rejoice when their children turn out well. Wise children become proud parents. Make your father happy, make your mother proud, verses 22 through 25. A know-it-all mentality is the enemy of success. So stop listening to elders and mentors and you'll stop growing. Listen, read, study, attend workshops, read the Bible as if you've never read it before. Spend whatever is necessary, literally money, to educate yourself. And you are going to be investing in your most valuable resource. Never stop investing in yourself. Again, verse 26 says, "Dear child, I want your full attention. Please do what I show you. Don't just learn truth, practice it." Another enemy of success is gathering knowledge and storing it up for the future. Put new knowledge into practice quickly. Don't hide it in your conference notebook files. Verses 27 through 28. A whore is a bottomless pit. A loose woman can get you into trouble fast. She'll take you for all you've got. She's worse than a pack of thieves. Now, granted, it was a male chauvinist society that Solomon was speaking to, so the same advice can go to women. Sexual indiscretion has been the downfall of many a man or a woman. Don't fall for it. Compare a few minutes of pleasure with a lifetime of success, of fulfillment and significance before wandering down the path of momentary ecstasy. Proverbs continues. Who are the people who are always crying the blues? Who do you know who reeks of self-pity? Who keeps getting beat up for no reason at all? Whose eyes are bleary and bloodshot? It's those who spend the night with a bottle, for whom drinking is serious business. Don't judge wine by its label or its bouquet or its full-bodied flavor. Judge it, rather, by the hangover it leaves you with, the splitting headache, the queasy stomach. Do you really prefer steing double with your speech all slurred, reeling and seasick, drunk as a sailor. They hit me, you'll say, but it didn't hurt. They beat me. They beat on me, but I didn't feel a thing. When I'm sober enough to manage it, bring me another drink. I had a friend and a parishioner who suffered a dual diagnosis, but one of his diagnoses was alcoholism. I asked him one time if he was tempted to give up his medicine and drink. He looked at me and he said, Pastor Tom, I can be tempted for a moment, but then I think, do I really want to wake up in a gutter? In short, all forms of self-indulgence and drive for immediate satisfaction and instant gratification are enemies of your success in any area of life. Conquer them, and you will conquer the world.